You got to dance, Craig.
Craig, come on, Craig. Yeah. I see him roll his eyes.
I love putting them on. Is that your move? The eye roll.
The eye roll.
Yeah,
Sometimes people do this. Craig does the eye roll. Good. It was a great move. When you got muscles like that, it doesn't matter what the hell you do.
There you go.
In fact, if you feel like you can just take your shirt right off.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I think we'd get our ladies viewers.
Let's get warmed up.
Let's.
Do you want to go lift some weights?
Let's get some audience participation.
Yes.
Ladies, shirt on, shirt off.
Make your vote.
Shirt on, and wifey, keep it to yourself. Back over there. Anyways, welcome to Podcast 60. We got a very interesting guest on today. Let me introduce him to you. But before we do that, let me talk about our sponsor, our podcast sponsor, Mountain Bean Coffee, right down the street from us. The mission of Mountain Bean Coffee was to create a company connected to the outdoors. Located at 2001 Henderson Hwy, only a couple blocks away, they have an extensive drink and dessert menu with their own in-house brews to choose from. They open early and they close late. Stop by, pick up a coffee to go, or chill out inside, or take it outside to their patio. And of course, there's always Wi-Fi. I guess I should update this because now you can actually sit in there.
Oh, really?
Hey, look at that. Back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's some social distancing involved, but guys, they got some really good coffee, and they're a big supporter of us, so feel free to get on down there and purchase something. Mm-hmm. So before we get started, let's introduce our guest. The man sitting next to me is a 42-year-old former Mr. Manitoba with a dog named Miles. Man, everybody has a dog. I think every one of our podcast guests has had a dog. Yeah. He established his business, contestprep.com, back in 2006, and in that time has worked with thousands of clients and was one of the very first online trainers. Mm-hmm. This man studied music in university, has never eaten Nutella, bullshit, or watched the movie Titanic, bullshit. An interesting fact, used to be this guy's boss right over here.
There we go.
Everybody, let's welcome Craig Bonnett to the podcast. Yes. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Good. So full disclosure, I've never met you before. I've only seen your online presence. Very impressive. This is RJ's, I guess, guest, friend from way back in the day. Why don't you guys real quick just fill us in on how you two know each other?
You go first.
Craig, how do you do it?
I guess we work together in Shapes.
We know you're the boss.
I was boss for
get a little closer, Craig.
Like maybe a year or something. But we were just we're both personal trainers at Shapes on Nairn years ago, like 10 years ago probably.
Mm-hmm. Well, you were a trainer at the time, so Paolo was our supervisor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you were just another trainer at the same time, and that was probably 2004, because if you started contest prep,
I think so.
In 2006, it was around 2004, 2005. So
what is?
Go ahead.
No, good.
I was gonna say that was an interesting time. I think that the people that were there, it was like a reality TV show. You know what I mean? And I was so innocent to it all. Like I had no clue about anything. And then you just hear the stories, and I'm like, I don't know.
You know what it was? There's just so many women that work there, or whatever. So you put enough women together, there's like absolute drama, or whatever. So me and RJ were, just a few guys. Or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So,
I think there was just the two of us.
Yeah. So it was definitely.
Did they have a reality show of gyms? Just
they did.
Personal trainers?
You know what? No, there was.
They did.
What a great idea that would be.
Remember that?
No, it was terrible. I saw it. It was on.
Was it like Sky or something?
Yeah,
Sky Fitness. Jackie Warner. That was her name.
I went on it, and I'm like. I was watching it, and I'm like, this is the same shit I see at work all day. I'm like, I come home and I watch the same stuff. Like,
it was a great show.
So they did have one.
So the woman was a very attractive trainer, celebrity trainer, and she was a lesbian. Mm-hmm. So she would be, sleeping with the trainers, and then they would bring in all these, you can tell it was staged, because they would bring in some trainer that's super jacked, and he's a semi-celebrity, and then there would just be like straight up drama. Right, so some of it was staged, but I think most of it was real. Mm-hmm. It was I actually really liked that show.
No,
it's unfortunate, but I can just imagine you get a bunch of sexy people.
Oh yeah,
younger people, obviously. Yeah, looking as good as you guys do, and throw a little alcohol in the mix. I figure everybody would be sleeping with everybody.
It's over.
Yeah. It'd be. It's probably best that I'm a trainer in my old age as opposed to in my younger years, because I can only imagine.
It'd be tough.
Yeah.
It'd be tough.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I never really, even when I was training, I always had like the business and then the personal, and they never really crossed over for me.
How about you? How focused are you? Like what you've been training obviously your entire adult life, I'm going to assume, probably even before that?
I started, I think I was like 20 or 21.
Yeah, go a little closer.
Yeah. I was 20 or 21 when I started. And,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I was into music before. And then I was like, me and my buddy were like, let's get some women. We're gonna start working out. And a week later, he quit, and I just kind of kept up with it.
So that was a motivation
at first.
Isn't that always the motivation for dudes?
Yeah.
Oh,
always.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, if you want girls, get a nice car and buy some nice clothes and work on your personality or something, because the muscles, it's not going to do it. Like,
Oh, no?
Oh, I don't think so. Not at all.
Depends on the setting. Yeah,
I don't know.
on the setting. Yeah,
I know a lot of beefcakes are stupid as hell, and they do pretty well with the chicks. Man, I think they got bus passes too.
Yeah,
True enough.
Yeah. So you're a keto guy, eh?
Yeah, that's my thing.
I was saying off camera. You've been doing it now for 4 years, which I appreciate because now we can get an honest review because I feel like everybody is what we call a diet hopper.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
They're paleo one day, they're keto the next day, they're vegetarian, they're fucking vegan, and before you know it. And what has ever gotten you results? Who knows? Because 2 minutes later you're back at McDonald's, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So would you say that this is been the best that you've ever felt with respect to the diet that you've now chosen?
You know what? It works with me the best, right?
Okay.
I used to do the contest diets, right? So I mean, they're pretty grueling or whatever, pretty restrictive. They obviously work, or whatever, but the accessibility of it really isn't there. I can go to McDonald's and I can eat keto, no problem.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Actually, I saw your post. Actually,
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah.
Now if my lunch.
So how do you make McDonald's keto?
Bacon McDouble, get rid of the bun, get rid of the sauce.
Yeah.
Chow that down, you're fine. I mean,
so you just get the lettuce.
you could do the lettuce wrap. I mean, you don't want to have that 5 times a day, 5 days a week, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, in a pinch, you can go there and get it done, right? Whereas, let's say you're clean eating or a bodybuilding diet, you're supposed to have brown rice, chicken, and veggies. Go to McDonald's. What are you going to do, right?
Yeah,
you're not going to be able to do anything there, right?
Yeah.
So, in that regard, it's an easy lifestyle diet. But if I want to have an apple, no, can't do it. And it's really bad if you do, right? So
taking you out of ketosis by eating a carb or sugar, that's the point, right?
Yeah, basically, or whatever, right? And getting in ketosis is a little bit of a struggle, right?
Yeah.
There's some headaches and brain fog and whatnot or whatever, and it takes a couple days. And if you knock yourself out just arbitrarily because you want to have a sandwich or something, you got to go through the whole process again,
right.
And it's difficult or whatever, right? So if you want to do it, you got to do it right. And that's the only way to do it.
So what is keto? Just so people that maybe not don't know what it is.
So a keto diet is high fat. So 75% of your caloric intake is fat.
Okay.
20% is protein, and then 5% is carbs. And that's just usually incidental carbs that you just kind of pick up from vegetables or
there's carbs in everything.
Yeah, a small amount. So
so that's it. Okay,
that's
so
basically it.
So give me a meal.
Give me a meal.
Yeah. Okay. What's your favorite keto meal?
Well,
besides McDonald's?
I love breakfast. So this morning I had 5 eggs, half an avocado, and a quarter of a bell pepper. And I cook the eggs in spinach with coconut oil. So there's probably 60, 70 grams of fat there. 35 protein, and then just 1 or 2 carbs from the vegetable.
It's a high calorie meal, though, eh?
Yeah, but the thing with keto, right?
Yeah.
I mean, regular diets, you're having 7 meals a day, right? Or what we're kind of used to, or whatever, right? Fitness diets, whatever. But with keto, the meals are spaced farther apart, right? 1 gram of fat has twice the caloric value of a gram of protein or a carbohydrate, right?
Yeah.
So that energy sustains and lasts far longer, right? So you're able to have breakfast and then you don't eat till 6 o'clock at night if you don't want to, right?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people fast with keto. They get up in the morning and they don't eat, and they just keep going as long as they can, and then all of a sudden eat at noon, right? So with keto, there's no specific meal timing. You don't need to space them apart every 2-3 hours. You don't need to there's no particular meal order or anything. You could, if you have a diet plan, you could eat, the 5th meal first, and vice versa. You could switch meals around. Yeah. You could just wait till the end of the day, eat them all at once. It doesn't matter.
So you're an online trainer, and you obviously get men and women ready for competition. Yeah.
Originally, the business was that or whatever, and then we started pulling in, general public clients because, there's more of them, and it's the same type of thing.
So is it part of being a client going on keto, or how do you?
I have lots of keto clients. I have lots of paleo clients. I have, if it fits your macro clients, it's just if it works with their lifestyle, then we use it or whatever, right? I mean, keto is no better than any other diet. It's just it works better with certain people, right? And we kind of choose together and take that path and go for it.
Yeah, cool. Right on.
So when you work with clients, are you still like, do you get them to track their food, or do you write a plan, or how does that work?
Well, they're eating what I tell them to eat or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, right? And
do you find more success with that? Like them following the plan?
When I have complete control, then I have great success. But when I leave it up to them, obviously it's not as successful or whatever. But hopefully by the end of the program, they know what to do and they're able to do it by themselves. And that's the ultimate goal, right? I've never been a trainer that wants to string along a client for months and months and months. If I could teach them how to do it in 3 months and then they're good on their own for the rest of the year, great, because they're going to come back the next year with like a new goal, or they're going to send their friends. So, and that's what. So what is your?
How long on average is somebody staying with you?
3 months is kind of like the bare minimum commitment or whatever. And by that time, I should be able to get a pretty good transformation, get them on their way. And if things are rolling at the end and they're doing good, like at that point, I'm just changing, broccoli for cauliflower, making small little adjustments because the diet's working. Why am I going to mess with it, right? So
one of the things I find interesting with online trainers is I've never had one before, and the only way that I train is obviously here. So we take people through their workout. So people come to you, they already know how to work out?
Yeah.
And so you're just kind of their accountability guy every day. You're putting a little message in their ear and kind of.
Yeah. I mean,
or how does it work?
Well, every couple of weeks they check in with me, send their measurements and all that stuff.
Okay.
But, they have access to me 24/7, just, questions or if they need changes or anything like that, right? So I'm always kind of there for them. And if they hit a little plateau, then that's my job. I switch things around to make it work.
Right.
So do you get the panicky texts or the panicky messages?
Some of my clients are pretty crazy. So some of them are like, I earn my money or whatever. But but you know what? That's fine. I put myself out there for that. But and you know what? There's some I'll give a program to. You don't hear from them for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden they're down like 20 pounds. I'm like, holy crap! And then it's amazing what some of these guys do by themselves. So.
Can you usually tell who's going to be successful and who's not by the initial conversation?
No, I'll tell you exactly how I know they're going to be successful. I have an application form. Might take 10 minutes to fill out, right? These people will send it back to me with nothing filled out. I'll be like, what's your current diet? And they're just like, oh, I just eat whatever. Like they put absolutely no effort into the application form. I'm like, this guy's going to be a loser. He's not going to do anything. Like you can just tell by that how it's going to go. Every once in a while someone surprises me, but the application form, honestly, like I've been doing this for 10, 15 years or whatever. That usually tells the story right there.
Yeah, you can always tell by, like in my business, I have an embroidery business, and I just had a guy call me. He's like, yeah, I want to get some hats done. I said, okay, first thing, do you have artwork? By meaning that, do you have a file on your computer that says whatever your company name is, .pdf, .jpg? Yeah, I think so. 2 minutes later, sends me a photograph of the side of his truck. I'm like, nope, this ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? So I know you can always tell just by the initial, whatever it is that you require in your business to get them to do it, that they're just not, they're brain dead towards it or whatever. So
take the 5 minutes.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like you don't. And I even told you, do you have it on your computer? These are the last 3 letters behind your file. No, just snaps a photo of his truck. So I'm like, okay, man. All right. Let me ask you this: as a 40-year-old man, okay, I want to forget that you have big muscles.
Oh, sure.
And I'm going to tell you a story with me first. So, him and I were traveling. Me and RJ were traveling. I don't know 3 years ago now, when I buggered up my knee. 2 years ago in Hawaii. Yeah. So him and I, all of us, the whole family, we climb up to the top of the mountain. We get to the top of the mountain, and of course, being who we are, you probably same thing too. We got to do a chin-up contest on this freaking tree, right?
Of course.
So as I'm coming down from the tree, my knee hits this little stub hitting out of the stump of the tree, and I can't even walk. Can't even put pressure on it. And remember, we're 2 hours up a mountain. Okay, so all the way down, I'm just dying. Finally, get down there. End up coming back to Winnipeg, and from that point forward, my knee was just messed up. So I compromised the. Something in my knee. Anyways, he had a connection over to what do you call a knee doctor?
Orthopedic or
and I can't remember what it's called. Yeah. Anyway, so he put me through the MRI machine, and there's something wrong with you there, right? In the meantime, I'm also feeling very low, like I have zero energy whatsoever. So I go to my doctor, tell him this. He's like, well, we should test your testosterone. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. So I don't know if you've ever had yours done. I don't know if you've ever had yours done, but there's a chart, or the way it came back for me. Basically, it said 7 is like the low point, and I don't know, 32 or something like that is the high point. So if you're at 7, you're like 80 years old. If you're here, you're like 15, right? You're just nothing but a boner.
Yeah.
So I'm underneath the 7 my doctor goes, I don't know how you get up in the morning. I don't know how you work out, and I don't know how you're a person or how you're a trainer. Like everything is just sheer willpower at this point. He goes, we got to put you on some tests. So I've been on it now for, I don't know, pushing 2 years. So my question to you, and actually to you as well, is as you get older, and you're not 40 yet, you're just over 40, do you concern yourself with it, testosterone? And if you do you have a message for 40-year-old men as to the importance of checking it out?
Well, obviously, like if you're feeling that low or whatever, I think it's becoming so much more popular. You'll see it in the States. Everyone's on TRT down in the States or whatever, right? And before I think they kind of shied away from it or whatever. But I think it's something definitely to get checked out or whatever. If you can get your levels topped up, you start feeling better, the body runs better, and why wouldn't you?
Why do you think there's a stigma? I can hear in your voice that you don't really want to talk about it. And you know what? And that's fine. I do want to talk about it because I feel like if this was a female problem, if they have their levels, they're getting their hormone injections, no problem. All the time.
Dr. Oz will be first one to talk about it.
Absolutely, but me or us as guys, we're not supposed to, because it gives us an unfair advantage. Heaven forbid we should get hard-ons again. Like, what is the problem here? So I just want to make it known to everybody that I'm 100% on TRT, and I recommend guys that once you get over a certain age, or let's say you feel, Murray used to say, if you're feeling melancholy, I think that's the word. If you use that word, melancholy, if you have no sexual virility anymore, if you're having a hard time getting out of bed, if all your joints hurt, if muscles, if you're carrying extra body fat and you shouldn't be, that's probably something to consider. So one of the things absolutely I recommend is TRT. So that's all I wanted to know is get your opinion on it.
I think a lot of guys starting into the gym, well, the reason why I think it has a bad stigma is because of the abuse. Just like everything else, right? Like, why was marijuana looked at and shamed on for so many years? And now that it's legal, it's all good. Right. Yep. And, you see 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds that were probably like, oh, you shouldn't be. Now they're, hanging out at Tweed. And so TRT is just such a quiet, like steroid use is such a quiet. And there's a difference between steroids and TRT.
Two different things.
Yeah. And so like TRT, it's just not known. Manitoba is just so far behind. It's just like Botox is now finally coming to life. Right. It's no longer a stigma.
Shout out to Skin Deep Aesthetics.
Yeah. Shout out
Skin Deep.
And, it's just a matter of time before there's going to be something on the market for men, and I think that's the new thing, right? Because you're right. Like, why? Okay, I can go my whole life, and you don't need it, but it's like, well, I want to still perform like a 20-year-old. Like, I still want to wake up and not feel every ache in my body. I still want to coach 3 classes and do my own workout on top of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that just right now, I think Manitoba's behind it, but I've got great friends out in the States. He was actually part of, like, in the Arnold Classics, he placed top 10 in the world. And you can go down into youth revitalization clinic, they call it. You can go to Vancouver, you go to Toronto, you go in there, they test your levels, boom, you get two IUs of GH, and you get, I don't know, CCs or whatever it is of testosterone to give you that feeling, right? Like, people are so shy to take a B12 shot nowadays. Like, guys, B12, you go to Costco, they're $5, you get a couple insulin needles, pump it in you, you're going to feel great. You don't need a doctor for that.
I even know, like, the States, you can literally make a phone call and they'll be like,
they'll come to you.
No. On the phone, you tired? Yeah. Do you have low sex drive? Yeah. Do you have, 3 questions? Okay, here's your script. Boom, done. I think the legalities here are maybe a little different or whatever, but it's so common in the States now. That's what guys are doing, right?
There's not many doctors here that are like pro, like, we're going to do it. Like, I've approached to get it tested, and there's some doctors that just said to me, no, absolutely not. You don't need it. You're 38. And I'm like, but how do you know that? Like, why are you making that judgment call? I'm tired.
Needs to retire.
My body, my body hurts. Right?
It's like getting a hip replacement. You got to be 80 before they replace your hip. Like, right before you die, they're going to give you a new bionic
It's just like Botox for women. So why do women get Botox if they don't have wrinkles or deep lines? Is because it's a preventative measure. So it's like, if you can get something to keep your levels up to above par, to keep you performing as a rock star, then why not?
And one thing that you said that I just want to touch on, you said, I want to perform like a 20-year-old. So I don't want to perform like a 20-year-old. I just don't want to perform like an 80-year-old. You know what I mean? And that's where I was. I was so, I remember that corner right there. I would coach a class. You know how we do it here, right? Like, coaches are running around. I would go and sit, like, do a wall sit up against that corner for 15 minutes. I couldn't walk. My knees were like paralyzed. I was so messed up. I couldn't believe it. And I'll tell you, just by doing that TRT, it changed my life. 100%.
And it's not like you take TRT and all of a sudden, you can go and eat, cheeseburgers with the buns.
No, you can't.
And ice cream.
No, you
like
can't.
It's still, guys that are, we know guys. I remember there's this one guy, I can't remember his name, but he was taking so much steroids. Right? He was so far on the other side, but he didn't look a day different. Like, do you remember that guy?
Oh,
there's one guy.
Every gym's got about 10 of those
So it
guys.
doesn't mean that you can't not work out. It doesn't mean that you can't get good sleep. It doesn't mean that you can't eat garbage. Like, it's a supplement. It's a supplement that's tested and true to work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because how many supplements are on the market, especially here in Canada, where you walk in the store, GH freak, test freak, you know what I mean? All these things, and then you actually do the research on it, and it's like the efficacy or the potential that it's going to work is so low. And you're just pumping all these like expensive supplements in your body, and they just don't work.
Do you have any supplements that you're a hard believer in that you've always taken?
Honestly,
wait, are you still sponsored?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not sponsored.
Okay, no biases.
But like honestly, like I've taken so many supplements, got everything for free or whatever, and now I'm like, now that I'm not competing anything before, like I take a multivitamin. You know, like I don't even do pre-workouts anymore. I don't even really do protein that much anymore. You know, so
really,
there's nothing. I'm not crazy. Well, keto, the protein's lower, right? So you don't. It's not advantageous to supplement it, right? But there's not a lot that I use anymore. Like multivitamins, I'm taking care of the micronutrients, not so much as the macros. Like the other stuff. Right?
So what's the argument then? Obviously, everybody who's trying to gain muscle is about protein, right? And I'm sure you've had this conversation a billion times.
I need more protein.
So how do you combat that now?
You just steak.
What is the rational answer to you don't need so much protein in order to look like you?
Oh, well, I mean. My muscle was already there, right? Right. So it's not going to fall off me. So I'm taking far less protein than I used to, or whatever.
Okay.
But to build it up, you need a certain amount of protein.
Oh, okay. So that's fair.
But the magazines, like 30 years ago, they're like, okay, you need a gram of protein per body pound, right? Mm-hmm. And then it kept on going up and up and up, right? You need 1.5. Well, that's because the magazine's sponsored by all these protein companies,
right?
And they're pushing all this stuff or whatever. Like honestly, body weight and protein, or not body weight and protein, but grams of protein as to your body weight. If you're 200 pounds, 200 grams of protein is all you need or whatever, right? If you're on keto, you need far less because the body's working a little different or whatever. But this whole like 1.6 grams per body pound, oh my lord, that's crazy.
That's a lot.
It's gonna be pooping all day.
And it's impossible to get that in you.
Well, not without a whole bunch of shakes or whatever, right?
Exactly.
I mean, or spending $40 on chicken a day.
Yeah.
Right? So
actually, I appreciate that answer because I feel like it's an honest answer. What other, let's see, so besides protein, what other things out there that they've been pushing this message? Let's just talk about the muscle magazines, right? For years, they've been pushing certain things like 1.65 grams of protein. What other things are kind of bullshit that they've been pushing for years and years? I'm assuming it's a lot has to do with supplementation.
Well, how about eating every 2 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And now that you're 20 years in and you got a great body, what are the things that you realize, shit, man, I shouldn't have done this for 20 years. I could have got away with it.
Oh, God, I don't even know. Like, even morning cardio and stuff. It doesn't matter. Just do your cardio, right? Like I used to get up and do this morning cardio because it burns more fat. But I'd be like just slumping around, or I was getting the shittiest cardio work.
What about doing the 2 hour cardio long walks? You still into that? Like,
no,
I still recommend that. Because that was the thing back in the day. I remember we'd always see the guys with their hoodies.
Oh yeah,
they'd be walking on the incline, holding the thing, and
quit
on there for 2 hours.
Totally.
Quit holding
with the
on.
Sweatsuit.
Yeah, quit holding on. What do you think you're burning more fat because you're sweating? Like that's ridiculous, right? Like, honestly, my competitors, they still do a lot of cardio and stuff, but bundling up and like hours and hours, like, I don't know, it's ridiculous, right? Get ready. If you're doing 2 hours of cardio a day, you're rushing towards your show or something. You're in trouble, right? Maybe you should taking control during your off season and didn't eat so much, right?
So how long would you? So I guess it depends on the individual, right? Like
for prep
some
time?
people could be 3 months, some people could be 8 weeks, right? Just depending on how you're looking year round.
Some people that just put some tan on, throw them on stage, they're ready to go. And I get some people I'm like, you will literally never be ready for a show. Some people just aren't built for it, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a sport, like it's dedication, and that it's a lot of like, especially our members have no issue coming in giving 110%, right? Like for us, it's about the workout because we can't control what you do 23 and a half hours of the day. And so the diet is always the hard part, right? The other day we released a free 6-week tread plan that we put out together. We had 96 people opt in for it within 2 hours. You know what I mean? Like everybody wants that, but we're like, hey, let's get you in and let's get you in for a workout. We'll get 9. workouts.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's, people think like it's the hardest part, right? Of this is the eating.
Yeah.
I would say.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's the easiest part, right? You just got to follow it, right?
If
I
you
don't know.
do it, I feel it's a momentum thing.
Yeah.
If you start it and you just stay at it and just, stop at one.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's I get it, right? Sometimes you eat one thing
I
and
know.
it just leads to
It's
another.
like
Yeah, you
I had
bet.
a client the other day, and he messaged me. He was like, I had a hard time not eating fruit, and I'm like, how's that a hard time not eating fruit?
Yeah.
It's a hard time. Hey, a hard time doing 100 lunges. That's hard. I had a hard time not doing something. I'm not asking you not to breathe, or something. It was like it didn't even make sense. I'm like, this is a terrible excuse.
Yeah.
Don't eat it. So
Yeah.
So do you get these like midnight phone calls like, oh man, I just had 17 tequila shots. Like, what do I do tomorrow to fix this? Like, you get.
Then I head over and have some with him.
So somebody that's in keto, how long would you say average Joe works out 5 days a week, is pretty decent on the diet, obviously has a couple bad things on the weekend. How long, but they're probably eating maybe gram per 40, 20 split kind of thing.
Okay, sure.
So how long would it take a guy like that to get into keto, do you think?
3-4
Or
days.
girl.
Yeah,
Doesn't
3-4 days depends
Really,
on the
eh?
individual. Like if they nail it right off the bat,
Yeah.
and they're exercising, 3-4 days, right? A lot of my clients, when I have them start keto, I'm like, you're gonna feel like shit, just stay home, don't go to the gym for the week, right?
Okay,
Just because it's gonna be rough or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But if you like pound through or whatever, 2-3 days and you're in or whatever.
So
right?
working out would probably kick you into keto faster because
Yeah.
you're depleting all those glycogen stores,
100%.
carbohydrate stores, so to speak. So let me ask you this: is it true that fiber overrides the carbohydrate content? So if I have, let's say, a bar that has 28 grams of carbs but 28 grams of fiber, is that still net zero, and will it keep me in keto?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. So as long as you get your fiber content up, you can still eat.
And
carbs.
And you with keto, since you're eating so much fat,
Yeah.
You definitely want to have some fiber. You're gonna have problems. But
It's gonna be a stiff one.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, definitely. If something's got 10 carbs in it, 5 fiber, it's 5 net fiber.
5 net.
Or 5 net carbs, correct.
So what do you like to keep your people under? I know you're doing the macro splits. Or are you getting your people to use MyFitnessPal? Well, you said that you write the plan, so you already done for them.
Yeah. So I just what I when I start, I want to be strict or whatever, right? I don't allow for much variety and stuff because they're going to mess around, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I put exactly what I want to eat for a couple of weeks or whatever the heck it is, and then when they come back in, if it's working, the numbers are working, the calories are right, then I'm like, okay, here's another meal for breakfast, here's another meal for lunch or whatever, and all of a sudden they're building a repertoire of meals that they could kind of go back to or whatever, and by the end, let's say it's 50-60 days, have 7 different lunches, 7 different breakfasts, and all these different meals that they could do, and they're ready to roll.
That's one of the problems that we have with people with meal plans. They want so much variety.
Well, you know what? Variety is what got them into the problem in the first place.
You got it, big
right?
time.
And I'm sorry, but you have to have some self-discipline, and you're just replacing one problem with the next or whatever, right? So I mean, hey, stay strict. Eat the same breakfast for 7 days in a row. You're not going to die. Like, come on, and even so. I mean, if you got to prep your meals, you got to prep your lunch and prep your dinner, right? And you want to have different meals every day. It's 14 different meals you got to do.
Yeah.
Like, how much time do you have, right? Whereas, God, I do all my meals in like 30 minutes on a Sunday. Done.
Well, I saw this yesterday. Somebody's like, I want to do this meal plan, but I don't want to eat the same thing for 5 days straight. And it's like, well, why not?
Yeah.
This is the problem, is that because you're refusing in your brain to commit to something, then when it comes time to the kitchen, you get home, you're tired, you worked out, you're at work all day, and you want to make dinner, you're looking for the easiest, fastest thing, right? So you're either going to takeout, right? We're just going to drive-through. Subway's good for me or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's eating healthy, right? Or you're just going into your cupboards and you're just eating carbs. Like that's, and that's the easiest thing is when you get that hungry and you're looking and your brain is all fried and you're trying to think, the easiest thing you're going to think of is just glucose, is just sugar. Think about when you're hungover. What is the thing that you want when you're hungover?
I mean, it's
right?
More booze. No, it's quick and accessible, right? You come home, there's cookies, crackers, all that sort of stuff, right? But I mean, if guys are the easiest, right? Yeah. If they come home and there's a meal prep, they'll eat it. It doesn't matter what it is.
Big time.
Salad and chicken, no problem. They'll hammer it down.
It's got to be ready, though.
They don't care. It's got to be ready. Meal preps everything. If you want to be successful at your diet, prep your food.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, and variety. You don't need so much. Get unused to having variety.
Well, you know what? I mean, too many people are just obsessed with food, right?
Yeah.
And you got to maybe see it for its function rather than just enjoyment or whatever. And you know, and then when you want variety, then it's a treat. And I don't have cheat meals. I have treat meals or whatever, right? And you earn them, right? So it shouldn't be seen as a negative thing, right? It should be a positive. Right?
That's one thing that I learned when in doing meal prep is variety is minimal. And when you do earn that meal, man, it tastes good.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you're eating a McDonald's every, 3 times a week or whatever, it's like,
enjoy it.
Not bad. But you don't eat it for a month. Oh, my God, it's literally the best thing you've ever eaten in your life.
And earn it. That was the key. Is like you got to work out, man. Like bust your butt a little bit here. Let's earn it.
Yeah. What happened the other day? I had a client like dedicated. I'll do anything to get in shape. And then like 2 days later, do I get a cheat day? I'm like, all right.
It's so funny how strong people come out of the gate until they get hungry. And then it's like, never mind. I don't even know why I thought about doing this. Just like in UFC, everybody's got a game plan to get punched in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
You ever heard that analogy before?
I think that was Mike Tyson's quote. Right?
Yeah, and that keeping it flexible is it. So for me personally, I don't generally eat a lot of carbs during the day. I just up my fruit just to get more fiber.
Yeah,
in.
but those berries.
Post workout, exactly, and it's so minimal. But what I'll do is I'll eat just straight vegetables and some type of lean protein with protein shakes all day, and then I'll get home and it'll be about a 300 to 400 calorie whatever I want. And I do that daily. But the way that I plan it is that, let's say, so Monday I'll do that, Tuesday I'll do that. If I want to eat out on Friday, then that means that for 2 days there's going to be like very little treating or flexible eating because I know I'm going to go have a pizza on a Friday night or something like that. So.
I'll even tell you, I don't know what it is about carbs or whatever. As soon as I have them, I'm just
done.
Or whatever, right? So that's why I don't care what kind of diet you're on or whatever. No carbs for breakfast, right? Protein and fat. Start your day with that. Like years ago, I was like, well, make sure you have your oats in the morning. Like, no. Like protein and fat in the morning or whatever, and then add them throughout the day. Throughout the day. As soon as I have that bowl of oats, it's like turkey dinner, and I'm out. I want to sleep.
Do you believe in carb timing?
Yeah. Like if you're going to take sugar, I'd take it around your workout time. I wouldn't take sugar and go to bed.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's as important as maybe I once thought.
Mm-hmm.
What's your opinion on turkey bacon? Honest opinion.
I'll eat it. I'll eat regular bacon too. But if you're doing a diet that's lower in fat and you need to have bacon, then turkey bacon's certainly a better choice than regular bacon.
Do you count calories?
No,
okay, let's give you two scenarios. Do you count calories if you're going to compete, and do you count calories during your lifestyle?
Oh, yeah. When I'm competing, it's down to the last calorie here. Okay. Everything's worked out. But, I have a general sense of what I hammer down a day or whatever. But it's just kind of internal or whatever. But, there's not a number I'm really focusing on because I don't really care. Like I'm not getting ready for anything.
Yeah.
So do you ever get out of shape now? Are you in shape according to you or out of shape right now?
In shape-ish or whatever. You know what? Because
you had no weights for 12 weeks. Did you? Did you?
No, I didn't even do a push-up.
You haven't worked out the whole time?
Started biking.
No, I got a recumbent bike and I started doing that. And then the last couple of weeks of the quarantine, a buddy that owns a gym, he let me in there and we had a couple workouts. But I really didn't do anything or whatever. And I got a little depleted, but it wasn't that bad. I ate good. I ate keto the whole time. I could have sat there and just hammered on pizza and it would have been a disaster, but I decided, I'll do some cardio, get some fat off, and then when the summer comes in, I could pump up a little bit. So.
Yeah. So what would you say if you had a client walk up to you? Would you tell them to work out or would you tell them to eat better?
Oh, eat better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends on their goal. If I want to get big, then yeah. But nutrition always. Right. Yeah, like if I have a weight loss client, like I'm happy they work out, but nail that diet, please. Yeah, much more important.
So how do you start them off right off the bat? Just straight up keto, strict. Just
if they
go through it, go through the rehab.
Yeah, if they want to do keto. Actually, most of my keto clients sort of that want to do keto, I actually kind of ease them into it, right? So it'll be like high fat, moderate protein, and then I'll have a couple like low glycemic carb meals, and then I'll slowly pull those so it's not like they go from eating, pizza and ho-hos and whatnot to all of a sudden like zero carbs, which it can be pretty hard on someone who's been doing it for years, right? So
you find a lot of older guys are trying to get back in shape? Or most your guys like youngsters just trying to be big?
I get a lot more women than anything. But yeah, the older guys are more receptive and they listen, right? The younger guys, they know it all and they don't often come to you for help or whatever. But you know, I've got a bunch of different clients, all ages. But yeah, there's most of my men are older.
Yeah.
So.
We rarely have anybody here that's under the age of 30.
Yeah, that's why I ask these questions because most of our clientele
males.
are a
I'm
bit older.
talking about males.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I don't bodybuild at all, right? Like I just do HIIT training, right? And like I think I have a decent physique, and I think a lot of guys have that misconception that you got to go and train like a bodybuilder.
Well, that's
chest day, back
it's changing.
day.
It's changing, man.
Good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in what way? Tell me exactly. Tell me how it's changed over the years.
Look at the gyms now, right? You go into a gym, it used to just be a big warehouse full of
weights.
you know, like weights or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You know, now everyone's got the greens or whatever. They have all the plyometric areas, you know, there's
battle ropes.
Yeah, there's a lot more movement. You know, not just sitting and lifting something heavy and going on to the next one. Yeah, there's a lot more movement or whatever. So it's happening.
So as a bodybuilder, would you say that's important? Like, are you glad to see that transition?
Yeah, but people's goals are also different too, right? You know, I used to go to the Olympia and the Arnold, all those big shows and the expos or whatever, and it used to be nothing but these huge big guys.
Yeah.
Then no one cares about the bodybuilders anymore. It's all about like the fitness models, the smaller, like
physiques.
Like being big isn't cool anymore. Right?
Yeah.
You know, like, sorry guys, like nobody cares about muscle, right? Now it's more that athletic look or whatever, right? And you know what, gyms are going more towards that direction, right? And
do you think I haven't been into a big box gym in 10 years. Like, do they still what does Shapes on McPhillips look like? Does it look like it did 15 years ago?
I've been banned from Shapes for like 13 years.
Okay, wrong guy to ask.
Hey guys,
I'll just Google it.
Chris.
Anyways. You know what? I'm at this Altea now in
a lot of
Bridgewater.
people are going there. I see that.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes away.
Oh wait, Altea. Sorry, I see that Atalo.
Yeah. That's Adam's gym or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Adam's got an awesome gym, but it's 30 minutes from my house or whatever, and
it's like old school.
Not doing that. Yeah, but the best equipment. His stuff is unbelievable.
Okay.
But this LT I go to,
Yeah.
it's got a Himalayan salt lounge.
I know.
What is that? I don't even know what that is or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like it's got this class where you like hang there in this like hammock thing or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And you think you're exercising. I don't know what's going on there or whatever. But this it's got so many different things or whatever, right? Like the child mining center, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's got a pool, it's got artwork, like it's got saltwater fish, like just like it does. Right?
Yeah.
Anyways, these gyms are doing totally new things or whatever. Like Gold's, remember Gold's Gym?
Yeah.
Bankrupt.
Yeah, they're folded.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That business model is gone. Right?
Yeah.
Like
the old school bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: do you think that there's confusion in the market right now, or do you think that the market is in a good way? And now I say this because there's gyms like us where we're more HIIT. Our model is HIIT training, but I still bring in the elements of bodybuilding. I still believe that you should bench press, squat, lat pull down. I believe in the old school stuff, bicep curls, right? Whereas there's some gyms out there where they're hanging from ropes and you know what I mean? Like they're doing things and there's just so much boxing now.
If you want to be successful in business, you got to do something different than everyone else, right? So, it's going to come around full circle. You know what's going to happen or whatever, right? So there's just different things coming up and down or whatever. So like who knows what's next or whatever. But the business is constantly changing. And if you're not changing, then you're going to be like Gold's Gym and bye-bye.
I feel like one day we're going to look back or we're going to be looking around our environment and be like, okay, so we have 7,000 square feet of TRX machines, cable machines, weights, we got a stop floor, we got a sled push area. And then be like, why are we doing all this? It's almost like our food, how much variety we need. Like, I feel like you're right. We are going to come around and just be like, let's just go back to a place where we can lift weights. I remember like 50 years ago, there's a place called like Gold's Gym or something. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it will.
I mean, God, everyone still talks about Arnold Schwarzenegger and his body, right?
Yeah.
Like, what did he have? He had nothing.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, he did a lot with a little.
Yeah.
Everything else is just selling features, right?
Yeah, and you know what I say, like for anybody, don't jump around. Like stick with a routine, just like your meal plan. Stick with your routine. It takes time to develop the muscle. Like I didn't get my first ab. I'm talking my first top 2 abs after 2.5 years of doing I used to do sit-ups with all my clients. I thought I would get abs. You know what I mean? It's
That's
like
because your diet was probably shit and you're drinking too
terrible.
much.
Peanut butter. I never drank. But I would say like, you gotta be consistent. I didn't drink until I was 28.
Okay.
I didn't drink until I was 28.
I was like, I've drank with you.
Yeah. And but I would say that you got to be consistent, like just with your nutrition. Don't be one day keto, don't be next day paleo, next day, right? Like
that doesn't work at all.
Like stick with something for a little while.
Let me ask you this: so if you're going to commit to a diet, what do you think the amount of time is you need to be on that diet for it to be effective?
Well, I mean, even after a couple of days, any diet's going to start being effective.
Okay.
Right. But, I mean, I think you got to be on something for 4 or 5 weeks to at least kind of get into a pattern. Any diet you start out, you're going to dump a bunch of water right at first, right? But 4 or 5 weeks, you kind of get into a routine. The body's kind of adapted to it.
Yeah. So one of the things we like to talk about on this podcast is poops. Oh yeah. How are keto poops?
Well, I'm glad I came here. You poop far less, and like I remember the first time I did keto, I was like, I haven't farted in half a year. Right?
Oh, that's it. Wives have put me on keto.
Oh, buddy. No.
So why is that?
I guess carbs. Most people have a certain intolerance to carbs or whatever, and the body produces a lot of gas when you're breaking them down. So,
you ever feel bloated?
I always have bloating problems or whatever. It's something I've just never been able to kind of figure out, but I know going to keto solved a lot of it or whatever. But I don't know. I think I just swallow too much air when I talk or whatever. Right? Or I use straws or do things that you shouldn't or whatever. But a lot of people do resolve their bloating problems with things like doing keto and getting rid of a lot of those processed carbs.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed in the last month. So 3 months of kind of eating, not working out, whatever.
COVID.
Last month has been really painful. So if I'll eat something that's heavy in carbs or whatever, and it's not just about being full; it's like painful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm having a hard time like getting back out of that. Yeah. So whatever it is, so I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But I'm sure the working out. Working out is actually what really solves a lot of my problems. You digest things faster. It doesn't sit heavy.
The worst thing you can do is like eat a big meal and then sit down or lie down, and it just sits in you or whatever, and you could literally just see yourself expanding or whatever, right? So if you go have a big meal, like go mall walk or whatever, and like honestly, your stomach will flatten right out.
That's good advice. So anytime you have a meal, do a 30-minute walk, would you say, or some activity?
Not any time, but I mean, if that's a problem that you eat and all of a sudden you're bloating or whatever, I mean, it gets the digestive system moving. When you eat and lie down, everything just kind of, it doesn't completely halt, but it certainly slows down a lot. Right.
So can you give us a sample meal plan? So for our audience, you're looking at a 40-ish woman, does 5 sessions a week, burns a good amount of calories, sits for the rest of the day kind of thing. Let's put her in and around, like, I don't know, what would you say, about 1,500 calories?
Yeah. Okay. So
she's burning about 1,800 calories, 1,900 calories a day.
So usually I say let's say you're 150 pounds, 1,500 calories, that's a good place to start.
Yep.
Right. Now you might move up or down from there, but you need to start somewhere. That's, so body weight times 10 or whatever, but like a keto diet for someone like that.
Sorry, what's that? Body weight times 10?
Diet times 10.
So take your body weight times it by 10. That's how many calories you should be consuming, roughly.
I think
just a beginner standpoint. I think that's a good one.
You have to start somewhere, right? I mean, now I might more accurately judge someone to their activity level, body type, and whatnot. But if you need a number, body weight times 10. If you're trying to lose weight, start there.
That's not a bad starting point.
That's a good idea.
That actually kind of makes sense to me. If I want to cut, that's probably where I'd be.
And the math is pretty easy. So,
it's easy. Yeah, I like that.
But usually you kind of start there, and then 70% of your caloric intake is, or 75% is fats, 20 protein, 5 carbs, or whatever.
So give me a day. Example, what does a day look like?
So we know what breakfast is. It's eggs, bell pepper.
So for a woman, you're at 5. So I would say the woman's probably at
3.
3 eggs.
3 eggs, half an avocado. Cook it in butter. Cook it in
the eggs and butter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Does it matter what kind of butter? Ghee butter or
peanut butter?
No, ghee. Crap.
The grass-fed butter is supposed to be like the best, but ghee works just fine.
Okay.
I mean, you want to stick to the healthier fats where you can or whatever, right?
Yeah. So coconut oil.
Yeah, would probably be the best or whatever. And then lunch, like even like Caesar salad right? Regular full fat Caesar dressing,
Okay.
Parm cheese, half a chicken breast. You don't want to have a whole bunch of protein or whatever.
Okay.
Obviously no croutons. Those little wisp Parmesan crackers. You can use those or whatever.
Okay.
That'd be a fine lunch, and then dinner.
So just a salad, and I guess because you're front loaded your calories, because that's not a lot of calories if you're just having romaine lettuce.
Well, romaine lettuce. God, I mean the cheese on there,
Dressing itself.
the dressing itself, right?
Okay.
I mean, it's gonna be like. I remember fat's 70%, right?
Yeah.
And a tablespoon of ranch dressing's got like 7 grams of fat, right?
Okay.
So those calories can add up pretty darn quick.
People don't realize that the sauces add up.
But in keto, you want to sauce the hell out of everything, right?
Okay.
I use that sriracha mayo.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So good.
And everything.
I haven't tried it. Have you? Can you make that?
I don't know.
Can you just go mayo and put sriracha sauce and mix it up, or is it like
if you've had
they got the perfect formula?
sushi, you've had it before.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. It's like that kind of that pink kind of sauce on
I know
sushi.
it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's like phenomenal.
I might have to do the switch. I like mayo.
Yeah. Oh,
Anyway, so
Me too,
lunch, croutons, or no croutons, romaine lettuce. They got the cheese on there. They got the dressing, half a chicken breast. What do we do next?
Okay, and then dinner would just be, any cut of meat, let's say 4 ounces, right?
Okay.
So if you want to have sausage, you want to have smoky dogs, you want to have,
Oh, yeah.
like no chicken breast. No, it's gonna be chicken thighs. You want to have one of those rotisserie chickens? Fine,
Yeah.
keep the skin on, no
Yeah.
problem, right?
Oh my God, bone-in chicken thighs are the best.
You want to have chicken? You want to have chicken wings,
Yeah.
ranch dressing? No problem. That's totally fine on keto.
Mhm.
Right? But
As long as it's under that calorie,
yeah. I mean,
in and around the
yeah,
macros.
you still have to count it, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And for that, usually it's only like 3 meals, right? And
Yeah.
the other one I do, and I know it's kind of hokey, but the keto coffee, the bulletproof coffee,
Yeah,
where
Rick's big into that.
yeah, exactly. You put butter or coconut oil in the coffee or
Yeah.
whatever. Now, there's nothing magical about it that burns fat.
Yeah.
It's just 23, 24 grams of fat with no carbs, no protein, and that fat is great energy and lasts you a long time and kills the appetite.
So that's a great on-the-go breakfast. Like if you're going to Tim Hortons or whatever, why don't you
You go to Tim Hortons, go heavy cream and stuff. Yeah.
cream and then maybe get a butter? They usually have the butter packs.
But you know what? Butter doesn't stir in. You
gotta
need to
blend it.
blend this stuff,
Yeah.
whatever. But if you go to my Instagram page, I
There you
have a post with a bunch of Starbucks drinks that you could order from Starbucks that are all keto friendly, high fat, no carb, no protein. That would work in a pinch in the morning. So,
Cool. Let's finish it up. What is your social media handles, just so everybody knows they can follow you?
Oh my God, what is it? Okay,
Is it contest prep?
contest prep Craig.
That's Instagram?
At contest prep Craig.
No. Yeah, and that's it. Instagram or whatever. And then Craig Bonnett
website
is contestprep.com.
There you go.
And Craig Bonnett on Facebook.
Awesome.
All right.
All right, we're going to end it there,
Let's go,
guys.
baby.
Do us a favor and like, comment, and share this video with everybody that you can. And you can also go to our YouTube channel, Fit Club Media, and subscribe to our channel. So thanks for coming on down here, Craig. Go ahead, give us the eye roll.
Yeah.